Adventures of No Joe Schmo. No Joe Schmo.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Lloyd Musa. I am No Joe Schmo. Listen, you already know what this is, man. It's the time we sit down and we chat and we build. And I plug you on to certain things, right? This that moment right here. So let's do it, baby.
The Adventures of No Joe Schmo.
Salute to everybody who has supported me all this time. We've been going a little bit too much strong now. And I'm being consistent. And I'm being motivated. And I'm being inspired by all of your comments. And everything that y'all are sharing with me about how No Joe Schmo, The Unexpected Nerd, We Cool As Friends, Wally Wednesdays. Y'all been showing me a lot of love, and I want to lift them up to y'all. Salute. All right, we finna get into it, man. We about to talk about what we talking about this week. It's a good thing, man. I got a good homie of mine that always supports me in everything that I'm doing when it comes to No Joe Schmo. Yeah, I'm not. We ain't really talk about me naming his name on there, but he is a doctor, right? His name is Dr. Hale. That's my guy. Y'all follow that guy. I put him in the bottom of the screen so y'all can see who to follow. But that is my dude. One thing I respect about my guy, and we always have like this, like a little bit less than surface conversation, I would say, when it comes to talking about our wives, because we're married. So I respect him in a high regard because, you can't really have that conversation with a lot of people because they're not married, right? And it's not saying that we sit down and we talk about our wives, but I think it's important, especially for us as men, to have an outlet to talk about how we feel as husbands, right? Certain things that we go through as men. It's like that true support system. So my brother's always been there for me, and I've always been there. And it's not just about like wives. It's about like, man, I'm about to make this move on a crib, right? I'm about to make this family financial move and just motivating each other to be better men in our lives. And I think that type of friendship is invaluable. Like you can't buy that, right? You can't even fake that, right? So I just wanted to open up this particular episode as like a forum for the guys who are married out there or guys who are kind of like, thinking about getting married. And I kind of want to share a little bit of my tips and some of the things that I find interesting about my situation, right? So one thing I know about marriage is that, you hear the cliche, everybody talk about how important it is that we communicate. We got to communicate. Communication is key. Man, y'all don't know how to communicate, man. Y'all lying. Y'all ain't communicating right? Because I'm not communicating right. Communication, to me, is something that is not a scripted, in-the-box thing, right? Communication is how does your partner like to be communicated? What are you doing to communicate where your partner, your loved one, whether it's your husband or your wife, where they understand you? I think that's the most important part. Oftentimes we look at our relationships, whether you're married or not, but we look at our relationships as like cookie cutter, comparing it to what we may see on social media or what we may see on TV or what have you. But it's not that simple. So now you all have heard of the what is it? The 5 laws. What is it called? 5 love languages, right? 5 love languages. It was kind of something that kind of like brought the idea of communicating to your partner in a certain way that appeases their style. Like, so that's what this is all about. And not to knock the book or knock the idea of it. I think it's a great idea that people are, wanting to explore what makes them satisfied and how to give that and express that to their partners. I think that's awesome, right? So those 5 things are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch, right? Basically, the book is saying you fall into one of those particular categories. But I think that, and this is not nothing new, so I'm not going to break down what each of those mean. I mean, y'all got Googles and everything, so y'all can go check that out yourselves. But I will say one thing that the book doesn't talk about that I think that we need to discuss in terms of building relationships and cementing relationships is that people's love languages change. I may be acts of service today, but 10 years from now, that might not be an important thing for me, right? It's all about where you are in your life, right? Right now, you may be a hands-on, touchy-feely type of person, right? But you may have, I don't know, something that happens to you that make you not enjoy that more than acts of service at that point in your life, right? Everybody evolves. I said on the show last week about where you start is not where you end. Everybody evolves in relationships. So with that being said, it is important, paramount, to check in with your partner to see where they are periodically. Don't be stationary in your relationship. Periodically check in. So I'll give you what my wife and I do. So there's some times where we have our own personal date night where we'll have dinner. And every time that we do that, we have what we call like the check-in. We check in. Confirming, acts of service, right? Or whatever the five, whatever is at that moment where you are. Is that still your thing? Or what can I do to improve? And also, what can you do to improve from my perspective? What we doing right? And then we tap it off and top it off with talking about the kids, right? But it allows you to have a time frame that's not a hostile moment. A lot of people like to talk and have these conversations during hostile moments, and it's oftentimes ineffective. You understand what I'm saying? So this gives it a moment where there's not any beef. We're not even coming at each other in a beef type manner. It's this conversation leads with love. So ears are open, ears are receptive. And one thing I love about my wife is that, and I practice this the same, but I'm inspired by seeing her do this, is that when we talk about it, we walk about it. If we say it, we do it. If we agree it's something that you need to work on, or I need to work on, or we need to work on together, we make those necessary steps happen by any means necessary, right? It ain't about right or wrong. It's about, okay, this is what's going to benefit us as a couple. Now take everything I just said and try to put that in a box of what you heard on social media. It's not going to work. Y'all can read all of the horoscopes you want to read, right? You can go to all the counseling and go to all the people you want to go to, but until you both decide to do it together and do the work together unapologetically but out of love, then your relationship is stagnant. It's not going to go nowhere. So put that in y'all box, man. I am Lloyd Musa. Obviously, I'm No Joe Schmo, and I'll see y'all next time.
No Joe Schmo.